time to treat yourself to a little commander deck. It's powerful, replayable, and the best part is, with just one swap, the whole deck, less than $100. We're talking about Basim ibn Ishaq, and you can find the whole deck list in my mocks field. Link in the description and the comments. And be sure to like, subscribe, and comment what deck you'd like to see featured next. For 2 mana, Basim is super powerful. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. It can't be blocked. This ability only triggers once each turn, but that's irrelevant. When he deals combat damage to a player, put a counter on him. So we got something getting progressively bigger, provided we can cast a historic spell every turn. And if we can find a way to do that on everybody's turn, we're going to draw way more cards on the table, create so much advantage, and win the game. So here's the swap that gets us under $100. Don't play Mox Amber, play Jeweled Amulet instead. They'll both draw you a card. It's just Mox Amber is so much more powerful in this deck. Obviously, our creature suite has tons of historic spells, artifacts, and legendaries. But Ornithopter is 0 mana, draw a card in the right situation. If you've never played Canine Mark 1, I think you should really look into it. Protects your legends very well. After the first time Basim deals combat damage to an opponent, you're going to get to draw a card off Sigrid of her Cutthroat every turn. The Reality Chip gives us the opportunity to play off the top of our library, which is even more card advantage. I talked earlier about playing at instant speed. Well, the deck has over 30 artifacts in it, which means Liberator Urza's Battlethopter is going to give us a chance to draw a card every single turn by playing at flash speed. We're playing Armix Filigree Familiar. We have tons of artifacts in the deck, so when it gets to combat, we're going to remove a creature that's super problematic. Emery Lurker of the Lock costs 1 mana in this deck, and we get to replay things we need to play. I never ever thought I'd be able to put Urza Lord High Artificer in a deck as a budget card, but at like $8 right now, it's well worth it and just gives us so much mana. In the same budget vein, we've got Venser Shaper Savant. Return anything to their owner's hand. Super powerful. Remove a propaganda late game. That feels really, really good. One of my favorite creatures of all time, Torrential Gearhulk, now a budget card, which is wild to say. We only have 2 instants to play out of our graveyard, but trust me, a flash 5/6, which will draw you a card because of Basim, is definitely worth it. And we're also playing Tidespout Tyrant, and if you've never played with this card, my goodness, does it create some wild situations on the board. This is especially true if you have something like, I don't know, Mox Amber and Soul Ring. So we have 2 instants, like I said. One is Slip Out the Back. It's a way to protect Basim. And the other is Desynchronization, which in our deck is going to be a pretty much one-sided board wipe almost all of the time. Our artifact package, again, really big. 30 cards. It has to pack some utility. So we're playing things like Executioner's Capsule. So when you cast it, you get to draw a card, but it also is removal, and that's kind of nice. And being that we have Emery in the deck, we may be able to even replay it and use it again. We've got Graveyard Hate with Nihil's Spellbomb. Bloomburrow brought us Fountainport Bell as a way to find a land, and then we can sacrifice it and draw that land. We've got Instant Speed, 1 hit. Cranial Plating is super dangerous to all of those that know about it, and even more dangerous to those that don't. I don't know if there's ever been a better Dousing Dagger deck. Attach this to Basim, get in for damage, and flip it into the Lost Veil. That's a land that taps for 3 mana of any 1 color. Our deck is so budget we can even afford actual Lightning Greaves. Again, a great way to protect Basim. We're playing the Key to the Vault. This card gets better and better as the game goes on, looking deeper and deeper into your deck for the best card available. I have another unsung hero from last year, Realmbreaker, the Invasion Tree. Unfortunately, we're not playing any Praetors, so the 10 mana ability, not really worth it. But the mill ability to find lands from our opponent is really good and really fun to play with. Obviously, we're playing Smoke Bomb in our Assassin deck. Just make sure that when you play it, you call out Smoke Bomb. We have a 4 mana Rock that's also Future Sight, in our deck at least. I don't think you could play the deck without this card. It's so powerful. And then we get to start getting into the enchantments, and I decided to go with a bunch of backgrounds. So we've got Clan Crafter. This lets us sacrifice artifacts to draw cards and make Basim bigger. And we've got Agent of the Iron Throne. When those artifacts go into the yard, our opponents lose life. And again, we've got Emery to bring some of those artifacts back. We're also playing Feywild Visitor, so when we deal combat damage, we start getting a little army of dragon tokens. And we also have a really obnoxious win con in the Antiquities War. Get a couple turns of digging, and then if we get to chapter 3, all of our artifacts become 5/5s. That will end the game. So if you've never considered a Dimir Tempo deck, give Basim a try. As you look at the full list, you'll see that a lot of the artifacts are really interchangeable, and this deck can scale up with the power of the cards you want to play with. Adding an Urza Saga goes really good into this deck. I would play a couple of Jin Gataxis if I was not playing on a budget, obviously Shieldred would be really cool in this deck. And you could totally load up on a bunch of instants and sorceries if that's how you wanted to play the game. Hope this helps.